Allah Yahweh Shemel Shai. Yahweh Shemel Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
And I saw heaven opened, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God.
The Israelites told me this day would come. I didn't listen.
Oh my God!
What is that thing? And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers and listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, with GMS Mississippi Camp coming with another weekly lesson. All right, Scarlet Lady has lost her favorite. Okay, and we know that Scarlet Lady is speaking of America. Okay, the whore, they're riding the beast. Okay, and that beast is getting ready to buck their whore off his back. Okay, and burn them with fire. Okay, according to the scriptures. Okay, because this war, all right, that the West has started, all right, with Iran. Okay, well, this is the pathway to the nuclear destruction that's going to turn America to a desert. You know, this thing is going to continue to escalate. More nations are going to get involved. More nations are going to turn their back on America and these small hats. Okay, and they're going to use their nuclear arsenal to fulfill prophecy, man. And this is where everything is headed. You know, we have other prophecies that have to unfold as this war is still going on. It's a conventional war, the MOTB, okay, being mandated, you know, which Jacob's trouble and civil unrest is going to be the build up to the MOTB being mandated, okay? And then after that, that opens the door for this war, okay, to go nuclear, okay? So Esau has embarked, okay, on the war that's going to end his empire, okay, and turn America to a desert and erase it off the map, okay? So we're going to get this in Revelation 17 and 16. And you got it, bro.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire."
You see, what we're seeing now is people losing that favor they had for America. what we seeing now is people losing that twinkle in that eye for her, because what they see that this place is a problem, that this place has always been a problem. There's no good that has come from this place, you know. Said the 10 horns, these powerful nations, you know, which that saw us upon this beast, they shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You know, those are thermonuclear fires, but you know, what we've been seeing today, we seeing her exposed. You seeing her exposed. There has been nothing that's
Mm-hmm.
there has been nothing she tried to hide that's not coming out into the light. You know, she's been exposed for her wickedness. You know that she was the problem right here. That she's been lying all this time. You know, and she's this place has gotten up on what riches. I mean, on whoredom and bloodshed. You know, just look at this place. Just look at the place. It's filled with what? Or degenerates, whores, just all kind of evil manner of people, you know, and that's gonna be the reason why she's judged, you know. Kind of no. That's on the verse I wanted.
That's all you want on there, bro?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, well, we can segue to this video. All right, brother found a pretty good video from CNN. All right, because we know, dealing with the Strait of Hormuz, all right, Iran, has shut it down. They're striking any oil tanker that's not, all right, that doesn't have the authority from Iran, which right now is mainly Russia and China. They still can have traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, but these European nations, all right, and these other Asian nations, West Asian nations, not China, India, Japan, okay, Taiwan, okay, South Korea, they're not getting their shipments, okay? And Trump, all right, he said a couple weeks ago that he was going to get the U.S. Navy to go break up the blockade, okay? But the U.S. Navy been catching hell over there, man. There's rumors that they sunk, all right, a U.S. Navy vessel, okay? There's rumors that the aircraft carrier Abraham Ford has been hit and damaged, okay? So because of Iran's, all right, ballistic missile capabilities and the range, okay, it's hard for a Navy, to get within that strait to be able to break it up, So Trump is calling to these EU nations to help escort these ships, and these EU nations like, nah, we ain't getting involved in a war, because it's real now. You see, it's real, and they know, okay, that they send them vessels down there. It's a chance them vessels don't come back. Talking about escorting something through the Strait of Hormuz, it's really a suicide mission, for any nation. All right, especially these EU nations, because they don't have the tons of military assets that America has. America has the privilege, but they have, all these different military hardware and Navy vessels. These other nations, they lose an aircraft carrier, their Navy done. America can lose 2 or 3 and still have, 4 or 5 that they can put out to sea. But let's play this. They go into what's going on dealing with Trump and these EU nations. So let's play this.
The president is very dismayed with American allies. He's putting a lot of pressure on them. He wants help from them when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran essentially has at a standstill to oil traffic going through there. Oil traffic that doesn't really pertain to the U.S., but it does, because that's how oil is priced. It's a global pricing system, obviously, and it's affecting the U.S. But he's frustrated with American allies.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources. and they weren't that enthusiastic. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that that was said, because I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries, because I know that we'll protect them. And if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us.
All right. Our reporters are at the White House, Tel Aviv, and New York. They've been listening to the president's remarks. They're covering all different angles of this. I want to bring in CNN's Elena Treen first at the White House. Elena, what stood out to you based on what we heard there?
Yeah, I think really touching on exactly what you just played from the president was really the most notable to me, this idea of his disappointment. And he used that word specifically, Omar and Brianna, to describe the countries, and particularly the NATO allies, that he says are not coming to the United States aid here and trying to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. I thought, what we heard of him actually yesterday is very much the same kind of threat we're hearing today. It's almost this ominous warning to countries who do not get involved here to send warships to escort these tankers, which is very dangerous, I should point out. We've heard that now from many top military, commanders and whatnot, but this dangerous, helping in this dangerous mission of trying to send these warships to escort these tankers through that very critical Strait of Hormuz. At one point, he said, I think we're going to have some very good help, and I think we're going to be disappointed with some countries, again, getting back to that point. But one thing that very much was clear, and it was a bit clear from that clip you played, is that he continued to talk about this idea of how he's always thought of the NATO alliance almost as being more beneficial for other members than it is for the United States. At one point, he said, I've said for years that why aren't we being reimbursed for what the United States is doing in the Strait of Hormuz? He's kept saying, I've been saying that for years. He brought up this point that he believes that when these countries need help from the U.S. is willing to help them, not necessarily the other way around. One thing I do want to be clear on, though, and just some context to all of this, is what has been so interesting about the president calling on these countries to send these warships to help reopen the strait is that this is the first time, really, that we've heard the president be so eager to involve other countries in this war. I'd remind you that when the U.S. first struck Iran, of course, with Israel as well, a lot of these countries said that they were surprised and that they, were kind of caught off guard when that first happened. So I'd keep that in mind here as well. But really, I think this enormous pressure we have seen from President Trump, and I should note as well, someone who has repeatedly mused openly about this idea of withdrawing support from the NATO alliance, this pressure that continues to build. Even so, we still haven't seen a lot of these allies who the president said he wouldn't name, but a lot of these allies come out and say that they would actually send warships. You look at Germany, the UK, Japan, who I should note whose prime minister will be here later at the White House later this week. All of them so far being very cautious about heeding the president's urges here right now.
Members of NATO are responding after President Trump warned that the alliance would face a, quote, very bad future if it doesn't help secure the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the EU's foreign policy chief appeared to agree with President Trump that it is in Europe's interest to keep the strait open, but also added it's, quote, out of NATO's area of action. And a spokesperson for German Chancellor Friedrich Merz struck a more defiant tone, saying it is not NATO's war. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer spoke about the situation earlier.
Shit, them boys don't want to go down there, man. Shit different down there now. So they don't activated that wild boar. So it's different. You see, this is real war. See, now, if America was just getting out on Iran, all these EU nations would have piled up on Iran. If America was getting out on them. Okay? Well, shit, it's real now. Shit getting hit. The cities getting brought to the ground. Tel Aviv is becoming the new Gaza. Okay, they hitting America aircraft carriers. So these EU nations know if America catching hell with Iran, they know they don't want to go down there. But if just like Afghanistan and Iraq, all these EU nations was helping. When America went into Desert Storm in the 90s, you had 37 countries that helped America, that allied and helped America when they went into Iraq in 1990. 37 countries, man. Because they went down there and dominated. Wasn't nothing coming back. See, now there's a price to pay. Okay? And they know Iran capable of hitting certain EU cities directly. And then they got to consider Russia and China still in the cut with Iran. So these EU nations, they not built, all right, to go to no conventional war with nobody. That's why the only thing these EU nations gonna do eventually, they're just gonna shoot nukes on America. It's much easier for them to nuke America than try to get into a dogfight with Iran, Russia, and China, because them EU nations are far weaker than America. So they know, like I said, America catching hell, nigga. We feel you, but nigga, we ain't just getting in it right now, nigga. We gotta think about it. And you gonna hear this nigga talk, and this nigga been moonwalking since February 28th. This nigga here from the UK, this nigga Steimer.
We have to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to ensure stability in the market. That is not a simple task. So we're working with all of our allies, including our European partners, to bring together a viable collective plan that can restore freedom of navigation in the region as quickly as possible and ease the economic impacts.
Let's talk about the dynamics here. I want to bring in Jim Townsend. He served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for European and NATO policy. Good to see you. I just want to start on, I want to pick up with a little bit of what we heard from the president here in terms of the United States' relationship with NATO. On one hand, asking for help, not just from NATO countries, but from those from the likes of China and Japan as well, but also in the same breath saying the United States doesn't need NATO. And I just wonder, from the European perspective, where is the threshold for actual assistance here, excuse me, and what do you think it would take to actually get to that point?
Well, it's a great question, and I think there's a lot of confusion about NATO versus NATO allies. But NATO as an institution, if it wanted to go to the Straits, if this was something that NATO agreed, like going to Afghanistan was, NATO could do that. But NATO right now would not have it would never get the votes within the alliance to make this an alliance operation. However, NATO nations can certainly come together in a coalition of the willing and go in there and do what the Prime Minister Starmer was talking about, to go in there and to work with the U.S. Navy and get the straits open. So as far as Europeans are concerned, they realize that this is going to be in their interest because of the price of energy and other economic ramifications. But they're still stung by how they have been addressed by Trump and how the alliance has been addressed in terms of NATO. So there's not a lot of good feelings towards the United States right now, particularly because they were not part of the process in the run-up to this war.
And that's one of the major contrasts here, that in the past we may have seen the United States sort of feel out that support that may be there from allies before taking action as significant as we've seen here. Obviously, that didn't happen here. But in terms of assistance, the president is asking for whatever it takes, to quote him, including minesweepers, for example. What help could NATO countries actually offer here that would help in the United States efforts?
Well, one thing that a lot of the NATO nations who are seafaring nations, like Denmark, UK, and others,
Denmark? Oh, boy.
Do minesweeping. The NATO has a very capable minesweeping capability among the nations. So it doesn't have to be a NATO maritime operation there. It can be the nations themselves who can bring their minesweeping capability to the Gulf. The UK used to have minesweepers there. They're not there anymore. The US did too, and they're not there. So I think what's important here is that that the allies, the NATO nations themselves, that this might not be a NATO operation, but the European nations know that this has got to be done. And I think they need to hold their nose and get this done. Trump or not Trump, a German war or not a German war, a NATO war or not a NATO war, we got to put that aside. And these nations can bring not just their minesweeping, but they've got frigates, they can do escorting, they can do a lot of things, leaving the combat activities to the U.S. if that's the way they want to do it.
We're joined now
Yeah, man, that shit ain't gonna. That's I don't know what he talking about. You know, he talking about they can go down there and do some mine sweeping. Them folks ain't finna let you take up the mines that they put down. Okay, that shit don't work no more. Just going down there talking about I ain't in it, nigga. If you help America, Iran and show the world, nigga. If you help these niggas, you in the war, nigga. For plain leave from your country and strike us, nigga, you are now in this war. You know, that's the rules Iran done set. That's the precedent they done set. Okay, if you get this nigga 5 on pump 10, nigga, to get to the airport, nigga, you in the war now. That's how we playing this. Okay, so that's fantasy. See, the Edomites trying to figure it out, trying to look the NATO nigga. Niggas ain't built for that. Okay, niggas hype. So, just what I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Show you Esau coward, and then show y'all this because now these EU nations niggas are stumbling and bumbling. But when they went to war with Afghanistan and America was getting out, so I asked, how many nations help America in war with Afghanistan? A large international coalition numbering over 40 nations at its peak supported the U.S. in the war with Afghanistan, led by NATO. This coalition initially included key partners such as the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, France, Germany, Italy, with many contributing troops to international security forces, ISAF or whatever. Okay, so you have 40 nations piled on top of Afghanistan because America was getting out, and there wasn't no consequences for helping America because Afghanistan didn't have nowhere near the capabilities that Iran had. So you have 40 nations piled on Afghanistan, but now, okay, they see Iran ain't bullshit. Now it's like, nigga, this ain't our war. You know, we need the oil with shit, nigga. We gonna figure something else out, you know? So yeah, y'all brothers had anything? So like I ain't mean
Nah,
You going in, bro.
Going in, bro. You good.
Yeah, Esau keep with that
They
fake
get on
tough shit. That's what
everybody's
I be
skin.
saying. Goddamn.
Denmark.
Yeah, I said you tough. Yeah, Denmark. Man, you crazy. Denmark. Yeah, Denmark gonna want that shit. Yeah, them nigga better. I don't know what Denmark do, but they better stick to that shit. Cause they go down there, it's over. I think brother got some on the comment board. I'm gonna get a couple off the comment board. Salaki. And y'all brother had some before I go to the comment board.
You know,
what you had, bro?
You give me Obadiah chapter 6 and verse 7.
Okay, yeah, I think the brother had that too, so I get it off the comment board. This is my brother GMS prayer always hopeful elect. Obadiah 1 and 7 in NLT. It says that all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you.
And you see this. Everybody that was in love with this whore, now that she's worn out, now that she's, just lying, lazy, just causing all this trouble, everybody's turning against her. Like if you got a grasp on the situation, and if you win in a fight, you ain't finna call for no help. Trump trying to force these boys in here.
Turn strong on.
Yeah. Shit, nigga, you not doing good, nigga. You gonna call me to that shit. You know what I'm saying? You say you shouldn't even fuck with them folks. The really part they telling nigga you really shouldn't have been around them fucking with them folks.
He sound like a boy off Friday. Mess with these people.
Yeah. I got another from the brother on GMS prayer always hopeful elect. Isaiah 47 and 15 says, and all your friends, those with whom this Isaiah 47:15 NLT says, and all your friends, those whom you have done business since childhood, will go their own ways, turning a deaf ear to your cries.
Oh, kind.
Because America got started.
That's a lot.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, and that's what's
No, you got it.
happening. Okay, that's what's happening because America it just has always been this out of the way place that put his hands in everyone's pies and expect them not to complain about it. You know, this place has this not only that, but this place has been just been a terrible. It's been had this terrible management of the earth. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's recognizing this. Everybody's recognizing this, and everybody has gotten hip to how America moves now. So what? Now that they got hip to it, they know how to move against her. They know how to move around her.
And if I could say, man, really, America really ain't never had friends like that, man. True allies. They just had such a, supreme military might, man. The other nations really was, scared to buck up against them, man. They just kind of went with they kind of just went with the flow of things, man. But now, since Iran has stepped up and started tearing the skin off their back, the other nations, they let the weak side them strong, man. They seeing America ain't what they used to be. So yeah, they behind the curtains and communicating on the low and plotting to get how they gonna really take down this horde, man. And this devil, he's hoping that NATO and these other countries would come to his aid so he can take over that Straits of Hamas. Because if America can get a stronghold on that passage, man, where so much of the world's oil is commuted through there, they can start dictating, countries again by way of how they can control how the oil moves through there, man. But it's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
America finna get their ass handed to them, bro.
See, getting it handed to them, goddamn shit. It's already in process, and it only get worse, And then you got the elites. They need the economy to collapse. Okay, so now you can tell that they are trying to manipulate the situation to keep it closed, to crash the economy, while America's still getting the brakes beat off on. For the elites, they the ones sunk America on their crash mission, man. They sunk them on their crash out mission. Them niggas crashed. And it's only gonna get worse. And now they just on the mission creep all the way to the nukes. Yeah, you had something?
Come on, bro. Yeah, hey, just off that statement alone, how the elites, how they just sent them out there, been going into these elites, they really done with America, man. It had to come up to that point to where they just out there, man. So Trump doing the same thing with the American military, So I seen some earlier where they sent like 5,000 out toward the Middle East. Compare. I mean, this was like a joke, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, this is how about Shem Shai is controlling the minds of the elites also. So Baba Shai, get that for me. I think we got it last week. Going into how the king's minds is in the hand of the Lord. That's
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Yeah, kind.
You got it, bro.
This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of the water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
Yeah, he just in this point right here, just dealing with, see, these elites are really, the earth is in the hand. The earth is in their hands. They doing everything. They got possession of America for say, Israel and certain nations. But what you're seeing is Yahweh Shem Shai driving away its allies. Going back into the initial precept brothers brought out. It's those 10 horns that was once joined into it. Yahweh Shem Shai driving them away, all for what? All for the great judgment that is set for the for the whore. Baba Kashai, get Jeremiah 50 and No. We'll get that one. And then, get Zechariah 14 and 2, Baba Kashai.
Zechariah.
Come on. No, Slot, bro. No. It's not Zechariah 14. It's that's the wrong precept. Let's see. Just grab Revelation 18. Yeah, I had the wrong precept, bro. Revelation 18 and 17. Because because what we're seeing is we're seeing everything that's gradually coming together for this major prophecy that's going to happen in the earth.
Come on, you got it, bro.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 17. It says, "For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off."
So this is what we're seeing. So in 1 hour, see, all this is building up to this final judgment on Babylon the Great. For it's his last hoorah, you know, because eventually, as the Lord said, hey, this place is gonna be brought to what? To the lake of fire, man. You know, that land that's gonna be taken away. And a lot of these people who the sword Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna have to be taken by, they won't be missed. You know, the Lord got everybody positioned, and He positioned America strategically. You know, everybody started, everybody was, Trump lovers and shit, but everybody starting to hate him as well, So, how about Shem Shai strategically placing everybody to where, hey man, what else can you do? You're gonna be affected, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be affected. All that pride and shit is bringing you what they say, the pride of these Americans. Hey, it's bringing them to what? This is about to bring them up, man. So, I mean, what else can they do? They can't do nothing but sit tight, really, and wait for the judgment to come. Because, well, where the hell they gonna go? The economy crashing. You know what I'm saying? They can't afford shit. Hey, how about Shem Shai is bringing this place ultra low? And for one, they ain't got the power, man. So, hey, this is what we seeing. We seeing a great downfall before our eyes, man. Hey, many great men they desire to see this, man. So they call like my Yahweh Shem Shai.
You read verse 18 too, bro.
Revelations 18 and 18. It says, "And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city?"
Yeah, because all them attachments, hey, they got rich and they drew fat off this place, man. And it was off the really, because one, this big commerce, consumerism nation, shit. Hey, just like for one, it just America just dumps money into, for one, Israel, like what, 18 some $billion a year, or whatever it is, man. What country is like unto this one? Making all these nations just fat. Hey, this is what America is, one of those pipelines that keep these nations in. Hey, it's through the laziness also, man. Because man, this shit ain't what's coming from here. Nothing but consumerism. It's just drawing in. That's all it's doing, is just pulling in, man. So, hey, what nation is like it to them? Where they can just sell their, their all their, their resources and all their labor to selling to these damn American citizens, man. Hey, entitled motherfuckers. But hey, the Lord, shit, He's showing them this is what's coming to you. For what have you produced? But hey, that's all I got, bro.
Come on, bro. Yep. Any other brother had something?
Come
on, bro. Can I get the book of Isaiah?
George, my then we got George.
Come on, the book of Isaiah, chapter 14.
Isaiah
14 verses 16 and 17.
Come on, you got it, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 16. It says, "They that see thee shall narrowly look unto thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?" Verse
Keep
17.
going, bro.
Verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof and opened not the house of his prisoners.
So this is a future prophecy that's gonna come to pass, man. You know, once the Lord takes down this wicked kingdom and bring forth righteousness, man. This is gonna be the talk of these people, man. Those who, you know, had kings shaking in their boots, you know, kingdoms, you know, going into different countries, taking their resources, setting up their democracy, and, you know, always setting up some kind of military base. The ones who, you know, dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These devils who have had the earth in its countries, man, who have just been fearful of this place. That shit is out the window, man. And this is going to be the talk of, and we're seeing the beginning stages of the talk by way of Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse, man. These other nations are tallying up, if you will, and ready to make allies and are making allies with Iran, man, and siding with, you know, saying, you know, the Russia and things of that nature, getting ready for the war Armageddon, man. But no one fears America like they did after that bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That fear has died down. And Iran, you know, and it's the will of the Lord, they have been preparing for America. They knew America was coming. Okay, they've been preparing for 40 years, man. And it's documented in the scriptures, man, that eventually, you know, these devils gonna attack Persia, man. And now that it's going down, it ain't going the way they planned, man. So they're looking weaker and weaker, man. And these other nations are like, okay, it's finally time to put this whore to bed, man. That's when what it's saying, let the weak say I am strong. So all the fear mongering that these devils have been doing, you know, all the ransacking they've been doing in these countries, that shit is over with, man. And Iran has put it in play to show that this devil ain't what he used to be. And now we're seeing that, hey, man, that iron artery clay is cracking, man. It's about to go down. That's all I got, bro.
Come on, bro. What you had a lot?
Every time I got something. Okay. You can give me Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 48 and 49.
All right, you got it, bro.
This book Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 48 and 49. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord Yahweh.
You see, that singing is not something for joy, you know. Nah, this is like a bad singing. Like, oh man, she's about to get it. She's about
funeral
to get
song.
She's about to get it. What's happening to her? You know what has happened? Because America has been known to be this mighty place. We heard in that video how Trump, like, oh, you know, he kind of threatened the other people, like, if y'all don't help, oh, y'all gonna get it. Nobody's not scared of you. You know, they scared for you. You know, you got it.
Verse 49.
If I can add, it says, and the spoiler shall come to her from the north. They're speaking about Russia, you know, because it's going to be Russia and those allied nations, you know, that's going to, you know, topple the kingdom of Babylon, America. You know, it's gonna destroy, all right, this place with thermonuclear missiles. So it's the alliance from the north that's dismantling this mighty, you know, military machine, okay, of Babylon. You know, but you got it, bro.
Verse 49, it says, as Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth.
You gotta think about that. Because of this, you are about to say something. Because of this whore, because of this slut, the earth is about to suffer. The earth is about to suffer. Billions is about to be knocked off. Because of who? Because of this damn devil. You know, because of the whoredom of this place, because of the wickedness that this place allowed to spread. You know? It's about to come, and it's gonna be a wailing. People gonna be crying because you gotta think how many people are here in America that live in America.
I can get it for you.
Come on.
I know it's like 300, should be like 325 million, 326 million, something like that.
Jeez. All them cities, the
340 as of 2024.
all these people, like these cities are known. American cities are known. Everybody around the world know what New York is, Chicago is. You know, these big name cities. All these songs, movies, or you know, these things that come out of America. Like, I think was it Yah that said this place is just when you say this is a consumerist place, you know, it just been showboating. You know, all the entertainment and all that stuff been coming from America, but also it came with that lewdness, that wickedness, you know. And once this place is knocked off, people are gonna be afraid. People gonna know that this is a judgment of the Lord, because what? Yahweh Shema Shah has his prophets to come out and speak it before it happened. You know?
Hey, it's crazy. Hold on real quick. And then too, because I was just looking at something. Because it says Babylon had caused the slain of Israel to fall. Because, and this is the Lord getting get back for Israel. Like the Lord got all these nations going to war with each other because of what these Edomites did to his people. Because we was giving it to his hand, but he took it too far. You know, so the Lord is taking vengeance on Babylon because they did us the worst. But all these other nations, none of them, you know, stepped in and said, hold on, y'all going too far with them, you know. So the Lord got these nations taking each other out, and it's all because of the controversy of Israel, man, what was done to us, man, and allowed to be done to us. Okay, because like I say, Babylon gonna get it the worst because they did us the worst. You know, going back to the whore that were drunken with the blood of the saints. You know, so America has a lot of blood of Israel on their hand. Israelites, you know, how they genocide. Because see, what they did and what they doing in Gaza don't compare what they did to the Native Americans, man. You know, don't compare what they did to the Northern Kingdom tribes over here, man. They knocked Ephraim down to 500. You know, so all this is happening now because these devils they took, all right, it too far when the Lord delivered us in the hand, man. You know, but man, this is heavy. But you had something too, didn't I? Not. I'm pull something up. You had something?
Go ahead, bro.
Nah, what you got? I'm pull it up and y'all can get into it. I'm gonna pull it up and y'all get into it.
It's like Jeremiah 50, 14.
Okay. Jeremiah 50 and what? 14, you said?
Because going
okay.
into how
you got it.
Going into how you know, all the brothers basically have been speaking about what's about to happen. You know, because you said it too, Zaquan, it's much easier for all these nations to nuke Babylon than it is to get involved. You know, and that's exactly what's going to end up happening. You know, there's a few more things that got to take place prophecy wise, you know. But this is Jeremiah 50:14. It says, put yourselves array against Babylon round about. So this array goes, put yourself against Babylon around about. So the Lord is telling all these nations to put yourself against her. The brother Yah brought out how Yahweh Shemal Shah had he controls the king's heart. So he's gonna have all the kings and all the rulers and what do they call them, prime ministers or whatever, presidents, whatever the hell else you want to call it. He gonna have all of them. He gonna put all of them in the spirit to put themselves against Babylon. Okay, it says, and ye that bend the bow. So everybody they got any and everybody they got a nuke and a missile is coming over here. It's coming here. It's coming, and you going into it as well, bro. How I think you Christian y'all was going into it as well too about how now the Americas is about to feel this in your backyard, because as an American you can turn around and watch all these things and just go to work and go get your takeout and all of that shit there, because you've never felt any of the repercussions for any of these things that are taking place. But now the Lord is finna, you're about to feel this. So all of these, we talking about the nukes, but you finna feel these prices and all this change and all this pestilence and famines and all that as well. But ultimately, these nukes, you finna feel that right on your ass. Like the Lord is gonna personally deliver you either a nuke or a chariot beam. You know what I'm saying? And it says spare no arrows. So they're gonna shoot everything they got over here. All right, Babylon is the whore. So them nukes are shaped just like rods. So the Lord's gonna give you all of them. It says, for she has sinned against the Lord Yahweh. Okay. In verse 15, it says, shout against her round about. She had given her hand, her foundations are fallen, and her walls are thrown down. So whenever from a construction mindset, when you're talking foundation and wall and they coming down, this place that's when you're dismantling a structure. You're dismantling something. The Lord is spiritually dismantling Babylon little bit by little bit by little bit. He done lift the skirt up on this hole. Like everybody can see you ain't shit. All this talking, this tough talk. I think Zaquan, you were going into how video funny. Trump disappointed about the nation not wanting to help. Well, you the nation's security guard. If your security guard get beat up, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Your security guard get beat to sleep. What'd you say?
Usain Bolt.
God. It says, for it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her as she have done, do unto her. So Babylon is getting a taste of his own medicine. How Trump like to talk about, we're gonna bomb them and bomb them and bomb them. Well, shit, Iran is bombing your ass to death. Iran to bomb your ass in a straight embarrassment. That's all I got.
Done, bro. My brother got one too, real quick. You can read that one?
I got you. This is the book of Jeremiah 49:31 NLT. It says, go up and against that complacent nation. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Now you got it.
It says, go up and attack that complacent nation, says the Lord Yahweh. Its people live alone in the desert without walls or gates.
Yep, and that's America, man. Complacent. And this defense, America, they're not going to have a defense against those hypersonic, ICBM missiles that's going to come, and turn this place to a desert. Their defenses against that, man. Because see, what's also with this war proving is that missile defense shit is a fraud. That shit is a fraud, man. Esau stole all these nations, these missile defense systems, that shit a fraud, man. They don't protect against what these nations got with Iran, China, and Russia, North Korea. They don't protect no one from what these nations got, man. So that's another thing that this missile defense thing is a myth. Okay, and it's limited. So yeah, man, this place is completely defenseless. Land of Israel is completely defenseless. And I seen this. I don't know how true it is. I'm about to look it up. Let me see real quick. Because they're saying that I just seen the video came up on Open Minded Thinkers said just in. Because see what's happening into these America and these small hats, they're doing false flag attacks on EU nations to try to get them involved. They're trying to blame it on Iran so they can get these EU nations involved. Yeah, these niggas desperate for help.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, these niggas desperate. Yeah. So I don't know. I have to look, see if it's gonna be confirmed. But it said just in Iran just struck NATO airbase in Iraq. It says 3 warplanes destroyed. You know, so I don't know. But one thing we know, shit, if you get false flag and you still ain't joining in, nigga, they don't want no part of this shit, man. Let them folk be. You know, they got their part on the sideline, and they gonna nuke you when the time call, cause that's all they really can do, man. So them NATO nations can't. NATO was just, you know, and we finding out too, like you said, man, a lot of this military build up, this shit was a prop. This shit was a goddamn prop over there, man, because people were so scared of America military that just the presence of American military base, okay, was protection at one time. But now now that they have to do actual combat, they see that this shit is paper, man. America just threw up a paper tiger all over where all these bases, you know, that America boasts about 800 some bases. This shit just a paper tiger, man. If them countries got busy with them bases, man, America can't defend all them 800 some bases. They can't even defend the 27 in this region. So America, if you got all these bases and can't defend it, then it's pointless to have the base. But America has a reputation. So that base, you know, was like a signet of a king, you know, like a seal of a king. When Babylon was this mighty, you know, was looked at as this mighty, untouchable empire. But now, if they done tore through the paper, Iran done tore through the paper, they're like, oh shit, you know. So now the whole world is thinking they stance with America, man, and it ain't gonna turn out good, you know. Any other brother had anything before we close out?
I had something real quick just to back that up, bro. You know, because I think last week I think we went into how they dropped the first atomic bomb, right? So shit, they still carrying that, you know, you know, like hey, big bag motherfucker. So hey, but again, going into how the weak saying I'm strong, hey, these other, you made the point earlier, these other nations, man, they drawing over to who the strong, man. You know, they just see they just following. You know, so hey, America being found out that hey, you ain't really that strong, you know, and then you always go into that damn that fake news. So man, but hey, the truth of the matter is, shit, America get their ass toe up. You know, so hey, these other nations they just following in and shit. They don't want none. They don't want the smoke, man. So hey, how about some y'all shot got setting them up to where shit? Yeah, it's better for us to just to come up against this one. Hey, then we just but hey, this is what the Lord doing, man.
Come, bro. And then it might be true. I'm just looking at it because America, I mean, NATO do got a base in Iraq, and I'm seeing multiple reports on that. And I think it was Iranian proxies that hit that base, and they say they're destroying. So yeah, so Iran, you know, they telling NATO, look, man, I better not get your ass in this shit. Shit. Well, let America trick you out your country, goddamn, as you better not get in this shit, man. What you have, bro? Young y'all, what you had?
I ain't got nothing, bro. I ain't got nothing.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Young y'all.
No.
Yeah, basically what I had, bro. I mean, that was the point, but hey, they touched the apple of the Lord's eye. So you know, hey, how about Shemal Shah? He's about to touch them in the worst way, like the brother and I was just going into, you know. So yeah, hey, and like you said, hey, they took shit too far. So how about Shemal Shah is about to take them out of here? Hey, the too far for them is going to be a desert land, you know.
Come. So yeah, we'll leave it there. I think the point been made. Yeah, man, the Scarlet Lady has lost her favor. you know, and now we're at the time, okay, well, Esau, he's at the end of his kingdom, you know, and that's why he only has, you know, this one move left. He got one ace, and that's the MOTB. The Lord already got the checkmate when he played it, you know, which is just this war going nuclear and the return of Yahushua that's gonna checkmate this MOTB, okay, when he makes this thing mandatory. So yeah, with that, you know, we pray, all right, that you brothers and you few sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to the hopeful, like Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.